Well, we do have a little bit of a Republican catfight happening right now between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. They took it to Twitter and they were jousting about possibly having a debate. Ben Shapiro wanted it to be on the Daily Wire network. Candace Owens, because she was recently, I don't know if she was fired or let go. I'll tell you, whenever someone leaves a network, it's always very strange. Like when Tucker Carlson left, I don't know, was he fired? Candace Owens, did she get fired? Who knows? But she's gone. You know, they didn't like what she was saying, and now Shapiro and Candace Owens, apparently they are having a debate. You can see just a little example. Shapiro says, Candace, I can see why you'd want to hide behind a moderator. One-on-one Monday at 5 o'clock. We can sit down and have a healthy debate. And apparently it is happening. It took about 20 subtweets, but they are having a debate. And look, Shapiro, obviously a great debater. He knows his stuff when it comes to Israel. I think a lot of people on the right, their biggest issue with Shapiro at this point, he's so bullheaded and he always sees red whenever he's talking about Israel. It's almost like Israel first, America second when it comes to Shapiro. And I understand he's Jewish, I get it. But when it comes to like my stance on Israel, Palestine, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't care. I don't think Israel or Palestine pose any type of threat to the United States. I don't care about that situation. I'm not Jewish. I'm not from the Middle East. I do not care. And I'm tired of all these people having hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour debates about things they don't really know about, and they're debating like who's killed more civilians, what's like how do you know? You're not there. Are the numbers really accurate that are being reported? I just think it's all so ridiculous and it's all complete hot air. And that's something, that topic, Israel Palestine, it is bad for both parties, but it's actually worse for Democrats because there are a lot more people on the Democratic side. I guess right now it's becoming a little bit different because now it seems like everyone on the Republican side was pro-Israel. It's kind of shifted slightly, but there are prominent people on the Democratic side that are more pro-Hamas, and that's caused Biden to like do a little double take and fund both Israel and Palestine, give them both aid. It makes no sense, but what are you supposed to do? It's a lose-lose situation if you are Biden. This is just what I would consider a nuclear topic that, in my opinion, I'm not going to spend any time on it because I don't care about it. And then people's like, oh, you're ignorant, you don't know. No, neither of those countries have any chance to really do anything. They don't pose a threat to the United States, so I don't care. I'm not Jewish. I'm not from the Middle East. That's my opinion on that situation. Next, we do have The Rock. Oh, The Rock. He's come out and he's retracted, I guess, his endorsement of Joe Biden in 2020. And this makes total sense. I came out with a video about a month ago talking about why I think The Rock's going to run as an independent in 2028, and this just adds more fuel to my hypothesis. Dwayne Johnson says endorsing Biden for president in 2020 caused division, and that tears him up, but he also said that, listen, I'm not endorsing Biden in 2024. That is not going to be happening. He said that in an interview with Fox News. It was overlooking, I think it was Lincoln Financial Field, and this makes complete sense. I'm guessing The Rock's advisors went to him and said, look, Biden is just so unlikable. He's horrible. You have to come out and say, listen, if you're going to run as an independent, you've got to give the Republicans a bone and truly be neutral. So now The Rock has created stories, and I'm already seeing them in the headlines. Is The Rock conservative? Has he gone to the right? Well, no. He just realized that he was too far to the left, and obviously the endorsement of Biden was a complete failure considering Biden's historically low approval rating, worse than Trump, the worst we've ever seen. And The Rock's like, look, I got it wrong. I'm sorry. Obviously, Biden is horrible. I agree. And I do think The Rock is going to run as an independent in 2028. I don't think he's going to run as a conservative, but this is exactly what he wanted. He wanted the dialogue to be, oh, now he's a conservative, because in 2020, I think endorsing Biden was really dumb. I don't know if he was going to try and run as a Democrat in 2028, maybe. Like, I'm not sure what the strategy behind endorsing Biden in 2020 was, but he did it. He did it over a Zoom. It was real awkward. And now he's come out and admitted, yes, I got it wrong. Yes, Biden was the incorrect choice in 2020. That's my bad for endorsing him. I endorsed the wrong person. And it doesn't surprise me. I still think he's going to run as an independent in 2028, probably announce in 2025. He wants to see how RFK Jr. is going to do in 2024. And by the way, RFK Jr., it does seem very viable. He could get 10 to 12% of the total popular vote in many of these states, and maybe even some of the swing states, up around 8 to 9%, which could impact the election and help, you would think, based on recent polling, based on who he picked to be his VP, it would help Donald Trump. We also have this little spat in Nebraska. Nebraska push on winner-take-all electoral votes takes another hit. So my view on Nebraska, obviously I do want it to be winner-take-all, but I also want Maine to be winner-take-all, so I don't want people saying, well, you just want it because it's going to help Trump. No, I actually want both Nebraska and Maine. Maine would probably help Biden and get him one more electoral vote as long as he wins it, although there is a slight chance that Trump could win Maine even in a winner-take-all scenario. Nebraska, obviously, that is the one example. It's funny how Democrats always talk about gerrymandering. The Nebraska district is the one example of gerrymandering, because if you actually just went Nebraska statewide, Trump would win it by 20 points. The only reason Biden is able to extract, or any Democratic candidate is able to extract, a single electoral vote from Nebraska is because of how it's done, where it's cut up into districts. If it was statewide, that's not a swing state. You can't say the same thing for Maine. Maine actually is more of a swing state. Yes, Biden's the favorite, but even if they didn't cut it up, Trump would still have a chance to win, Maine outright, as opposed to Nebraska being just complete Trump country. It's more conservative than Iowa, and Trump, obviously if they made this a winner-take-all, they should do it in both Maine and Nebraska. Every state should be winner-take-all, but we know how politics is, that, it takes them 40 years to do something. Hopefully this gets passed. I think because it's been in the news and there's a lot of pressure and there are a lot of prominent Republican people really talking about it, I do think this is eventually going to go through for 2024. Worst case scenario, obviously, it gets tabled and it doesn't get enacted until 2028. But again, both Nebraska and Maine, let's make them both winner take all. Every state should have the same type of electoral vote system. It just makes the most sense. Another thing I've been noticing and observing is the recent shift we've seen in terms of betting odds. I really don't think it's reflective of where the current polling is. I would say Donald Trump right now, about a 75% chance to win the election, considering the historical data point we have of 2016 and 2020, where Trump overperforms the polls and he's up in basically every swing state. You can take a look at the updated odds. It's got Trump and Biden both at plus 130. Well, I guess Biden's plus 137, but yeah, I don't think that's very reflective of where we're at right now. Now, you could argue that, well, they're implying that Biden's going to make a comeback and continue to move up in terms of the polls, but considering his horrible approval rating, I think there's good value on Trump. In general, I would never bet on something like this. The issue with it is having your money tied up in something that will not be resolved for multiple months. It's better to have money and cash on hand so you can use it, rather than to have it tied up. However, I don't think these odds are reflective of the current polls. I think there's good value on Trump. I would have Trump about minus 140 in this, and Biden would be about plus 120. Still close considering this election, very polarizing, obviously. It's U.S. politics. It's Republicans versus Democrats. Another interesting thing to look at, the updated VP pick for Trump. How about Tulsi Gabbard surging to plus 700? I think she should be the choice for Trump. Tim Scott there sitting as the favorite, plus 500. You can see some others as well. It'll be interesting to see who Trump ends up choosing. I do think it will be Tulsi Gabbard. And then how about John Fetterman, the revenge arc? Oh, it's legendary. It is amazing. Senator John Fetterman blasts squatters, violent crime, quote, "I am not woke." Somebody in the comments, they were like, Fetterman is more conservative than Dr. Oz. And Fetterman has just gone completely right wing. It's just strange to see, but it's an amazing revenge arc. The glow up, the glow up of John Fetterman, more conservative than Dr. Oz. I'm just kidding, but still, it is interesting. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.